Welcome everyone to another live session with Leverage TV. I am Tushita Jolly, an overseas education expert at Leverage Edu. I coach students to make it to the top 100 colleges of the world. So today's topic is do's and don'ts of portfolio. How do you build up your portfolio? I am going to walk you through the entire process of making a portfolio. What are the do's and don'ts that one needs to keep in mind? How many different kinds of pieces are required? All of that. So, but before we begin, let me give you an insight about what we do here. We are India's most trusted overseas admissions platform. If you're planning to study abroad and wish to start your international student journey, feel free to reach out to us. We at Leverage Edu help you reach your dream universities abroad. And if you're confused about how to apply, where to apply, what to do, what not to do, we will help you through and through the entire process. We will walk you through it. We will handhold you through it. Apart from this, we guide you through your application process. We help you in construction of stellar SOPs. We help you understand interview preparations, how to tackle those questions, scholarships, accommodations, loans, visas, and a lot more. You can reach out to us over leverageedu.com and avail the benefits of our university admission services. Okay, guys, let's jump right into this. What is exactly a portfolio? A portfolio is an extension of an individual. Extension of an individual means it is something that is very you. So every time you're applying for an art or a design-oriented course, or even in certain cases, certain technical courses, you are supposed to show your work. So basically, if you are someone planning your design degrees abroad, if you're planning, let's say new courses like UX, UI, or you're looking at product designing, or you're looking at user interface, human-computer interaction design, all of these courses require a portfolio. Well, the next thing that I must say is how many pieces should be included in a portfolio? Well, a portfolio in general terms has about 13 to 15 pieces, and on an average, a student should make around 22 so that they can shortlist the best pieces out and then take those forward. It takes you exactly about one entire year to make good looking pieces for your portfolio. You obviously, as a person, wants to put your best foot forward to the university, right? In that case, it is extremely important for you to understand the kind of art you would want to proceed with. It's not always about picking up topics that would appeal to the university. The university is not making it very topic centric. It is more centered around understanding you as an individual. So it's a good idea that you can extend the same expertise too. So who you are, what do you like, what do you not like is something that is communicated through your portfolio. So make sure you remember this. This is a very important point that one must keep in mind while making one. Well, what should your portfolio consist of is a very common question that I come across. What should it consist of? Well, your portfolio should have a variety of art pieces in a variety of mediums to show that you are a person who's willing to experiment with a lot of things. For example, let's say if you are someone who says that, all right, I'm going to make like 11 pieces because my area of interest is film. You can't make every piece on observational drawing, or not all 15 pieces are going to go in pencil sketch. You have to make sure that you are putting in some kind of posters, you've curated posters, let's say, revisited certain movies, probably you've taken certain iconic characters, make art pieces on the same, taken those forward. You've done that in mood boards, flip books, or you've done it, let's say, in storyboards, or if you've done hedging for, even if you're doing an observational piece, make sure it's interesting. Keep it interesting in the sense you can use various techniques, use various mediums. Try experimenting with mediums, try experimenting with techniques, try doing something that is completely your own. All of that is welcome. There is no limit to what your portfolio can or cannot showcase. So make sure you open all your creative juices and you take that forward. So this is what I would suggest in terms of what your portfolio should consist. So try making it varied. Mixed media is a great platform. You can include pieces of, let's say, if you've done a lot of Photoshop, you can use that. You can use a little bit of AutoCAD, make a piece from that. You can use installations. You can put up a lot of installations in your own house or places such as that. That will make it look even more attractive. The different kinds of work you showcase is what will take your application forward. In design applications, your portfolio is the maker or the deal breaker. It's as simple as that. Or if there is some other way you can show your interest towards the subject, that would be great. Okay. So what are the different courses that require a portfolio? Well, I've already addressed that, but we can revisit this. Let's say design-oriented courses: fashion design, communication design, apparel design, film set designing, or any of that. Even if it's, even if you're going in for film studies, or you're going in for VFX, you're going in for animation, you want to go in for HCID, that is human-computer interaction design, or user experience or user interaction design. There are so many, graphic designing for that matter. All of these are extremely important, that you master these, that you are able to put the portfolio that is putting across your interest in these fields. So these are the different courses that will require, even if you're going in for something like engineering graphics, that requires a portfolio. Certain tech courses require a portfolio. What can you do technically? How do you use your computer? How do you use your, let's say, how do you use your skills? How do you make something creative out of that? So that's that. Okay. So now to discuss do's and don'ts, it is very important for a person to realize that the first do that you have is to read the criteria properly. Every university, every website will always will nicely put the criteria, will put instructions on how they want their portfolio to be formed. So this is the first do. The second one I would say is, how do you organize things effectively? You would want to show, not either you put the best piece that you have on the top and then take it down or taper that, or you could start with your most recent piece and then create a wow factor that in the end, this is what my artwork turned into. So you show your journey through your portfolio this way, that, this is how I took the first step, this is the kind of work I initially did, and this is how I improved to this is my latest piece, and then take that forward. Or if you want to create a strong impression about that this is my best work, and then you take it forward, that is also a good way to go about it. But I would highly recommend the first one. The next do that we have here is write clear and concise labels. It is very important for you to put down your artwork onto something cleaner, something more presentable. Presentation, wherever you go, has marks, right? Even if you are someone who has a fantastic handwriting, if you meet a person who's beautiful, there is a chance that you will make a better impression at those. Hence, it is extremely important that you clearly mount your artwork over clear-cut pieces, label it properly, the edges are nicely done, and all of your work has its finishing touches done. So make sure that that is clearly done. On top of that, you create labels. Every art piece that you have done needs to have a label about what size it is, what medium it is in, and then, let's say, what do you even name this art piece probably? What is the idea behind it? You can put that across on one label, small label in the corner of your artwork. That works wonders. That also helps you understand if you're in a position to discuss your artwork. So in certain cases, people do carry their portfolios all the way abroad. So you always have to be ready to discuss the same. So this is our fourth do, I would say. Be ready to discuss each and every piece that you come across. Each and every piece that you have tells a story. How does it resonate with your goal or your life? And how does this talk about your creativity? So be ready to discuss that. Make sure your art is meaningful. It means something. It's not something copied from the internet. That's a big don't. Please do not copy artwork from here or there. Please do not think that if you have a particular art piece and a particular way of making a portfolio is working for one person, it may not work for you because it is completely different from your personality. You must realize that you're sending across essays, you're sending across, even in certain cases, interviews, and the university has its own ways of figuring out whether you are someone who has made this portfolio or not. So make sure your portfolio is very centric to you and your creative interests. Make sure you know what works out for you, not what works out for the other person or what two people have spoken about already. So make sure your artwork is not copied from anywhere. We all have Pinterest. The universities have Pinterest. They've seen variety of artwork. Make sure you keep that in mind and then take pieces forward. Of course, you can draw inspiration create your own mindset and then take that forward, and probably you could want to use that for research. But please do not copy the same thing and send across. That will never work in your favor. The fifth do that I will say is tell stories. Your artwork should tell your story. For example, if someone is extremely has an edge towards, let's say, Cinderella or Disney stories or Disney books, right? They tend to make a lot of storyboards, and they will recreate probably the outfit of Cinderella, or they will probably recreate the entire story through their own storyboard. That is an excellent way to refurbish an already existing piece of art, piece of story, and then you're able to tell the story through again. So if your artwork is telling stories, giving certain meanings, it is something that is working in your favor. So it's a big do. The next don't that I would say is don't get hung up on quality. Sometimes we all act like perfectionists, and we all say that, you know what, you are hell bent upon that this one particular art piece has to be concluded, and you take up a lot of time. Even though the university has a requirement of 13 to 14 pieces, and you have only submitted that one because you fixated yourself on that one, it's not enough data for the university to process and hence give you a conclusive answer. Next do that I would want to discuss is get some outside advice. It is extremely important for you to sometimes take advice from people who are probably in this field, or taking advice from any person who's an artist or someone who can tell you about what this artwork means, even if it's someone who admires art in general or any kind of design, or if you know any designer or any person who's already made it through in life. You can go through various sessions. We also have Unique Connect sessions where we have a mentorship program. We have people here who can help you review your portfolios and take those forward. I think that is something you must really think about. So getting that advice from somebody is a great idea. That extra eye sometimes helps you understand that you probably and things that you probably missed yourself. Okay. The eighth do that I'm going to say is show your technical ability. Even though you don't have to be technically very good, it is extremely important that you display some kind of technical ability. If you know how to sketch, you don't sketch, you make sure that you sketch things properly. All right, it is extremely important to show that kind of mastery over your technical abilities. Do not hide that under the covers. If you are able to exhibit that, the university already understands that, all right, this person has a temperament to take this forward, will be able to take this more clearly, effectively, and will be able to complete this highly exclusive course. So make sure you remember to show your technical abilities along with your creative style. Another don't that I have for you is do not choose cliche artwork. There are a lot of topics that we all touch upon that, this is a topic that the university would like. This is what we assume. Those are certain cliche topics, be it, let's say feminism or nude art or something like that. You need to make sure that your artwork is an extension of you. So make sure you pick up pieces which resonate with you more and resonate with the kind of person you are. Do not go in for cliche examples. Try being very different from what already exists. And that will definitely take you to the top schools. Not only just put your applications forward, it will definitely land you in the top schools. Sparks, Spratt, these three schools would be extremely interested in you. Even Paris College of Arts would be extremely interested. Another thing that you must keep in mind is it's not only just your artwork. You can also submit your photography. You can submit your, let's say, edits of those photographs as a part of your portfolio. Even if you're not going in for a photography-oriented course, it will work in your favor because the university is able to see the fact that you are someone who has an eye for something. You have an eye for capturing some sort of work. So it's showing your thought process and where is it resonating. So make sure this is another thing that you keep in your mind. Another thing that is very, very important is it's a big do. Show how you have developed. Now, every particular idea that we have, how have we come to that conclusion? How have we developed that? It is extremely important for you to keep a small notebook or a sketchbook that shows how did you come to a particular art piece. That number one makes sure that the university understands that your work is authentic. Along with that, it will help you also understand the fact that even though you have presented authentic work, along with that, where is your thought process coming from? How did this particular idea develop in your mind? Let's say you start off with you create a pumpkin and then how for an example, you make a normal pumpkin. Then you convert that into a designer piece. So you start making another, box in which you have a pumpkin, and then you could make a couple of designs on that, and then you could show that how did you reach your final piece. You can write small things about where did you get your idea from. You can talk about how are you going to develop on this. There are different ideas that you've already thought about. You can always show those in that particular book. It's like showing a rough math that you have done probably to fix up a sum. If you solve math problems, right? There's space for rough work. Teachers do tend to look at that just in case if you didn't know. So in that case, it is very important that you understand that this rough work is extremely important for the teacher to understand where did you come to this conclusion from. So make sure you keep this analogy in mind and then take that forward. While I understand that I understand that, creating a portfolio can be a really daunting task, and sometimes we don't understand where do we even begin from. We start off with usually observation drawings of things that are around the house. That is your place of beginning. There are certain universities that do ask for observation drawings, so make sure you have certain things ready. There are art classes, you can take up a mentor, you can connect with an expert, and then they can also let you know where to begin with. You can reach out to us, you can email our team, you can go to our website, even we are in a position to help you that way. So make sure you remember that. Try YouTubing. A lot of students who have already made it to certain universities, they all share their experiences about making a portfolio. Even that is something that is a great source of exposure to you. So research is your key. Make sure you remember to go to every university's website and figuring out which is that one particular thing that is required. Make sure you follow all of those instructions to the T. The university gets an idea that, if the person is willing to take into account all the instructions that they've given, they feel that you are very interested in their program, which you are. So make sure you showcase that and communicate that properly through your research, through your work, through your intent, and make sure that is delivered properly. And there is nothing in this world that will stop you from getting that particular input to your teams. So with that being said, there are many questions that I often come across, and some of those can begin with, let's say, where do you put your portfolio if you're sending it across online? So to answer this question, I would say that there is something called a slide room. Slide room allows you to click pictures of your artwork, put those together, and then put those across to the university. This is a particular application that we use, and that has been helpful for many years. If there are other applications, you will be told so accordingly. We'll inform you about those at the same time. Would not be a problem. So make sure you stay tuned on our pages again and again, and make sure you attend a session in the evening. We have it every day at 6 p.m. So along with that, I would suggest that while you think of that, I have to submit so many pieces, which pieces to select, which pieces to not select, it is a good idea to come across to a mentor who can help you with this while selecting pieces. And every single piece, if you yourself have created something, but you don't know what it actually means, sit down with the person. They will help you realize that, a particular artwork would come from a particular standpoint of your psyche. And that is how you resonated from it, or how do you see yourself. A lot of students actually send in their own, portraits as a part of their portfolios. Portraits of them doing something that they really like. That is something really appreciated by the universities, especially in US, because they're more centric about understanding the student that is coming in, whether he is a good fit or not. So make sure you have such ideas in your head already. There are different ways of sending across your portfolio. There was a time when people would send them across or take them physically. That is also one way to do it. Make sure there are university open days. You attend those, even if they're virtually there. You can talk about your artwork there. You can send certain pieces that you have liked to the university. Otherwise, those can be emailed and they can still cross-verify and let you know whether they're willing to take you in on the basis of these. They also advise you with good feedback. It's something called a pre-app. We tend to do this very often. We can help you prepare that document as well. That would not be a problem. How long should a person take in order to make an entire portfolio? Well, on an average, I suggest that one can fill one artwork takes one entire week to furnish. So make sure you are someone who's ready to do that. So if you're able to do that, keeping an average of one artwork 1 week, you will have a stellar portfolio by the end of the year. So it takes nearly about 1.5 years to build up an entire portfolio and then apply for this. Please don't be afraid of taking a gap year and doing this. You can follow other activities alongside creating your portfolio. It will always work in your favor. There's another question here that states that what are the different kinds of artworks one can actually put across? Okay, so if you are someone who's looking at different kinds of artwork, for example, you don't understand which one to begin with, as I already stated, you can start off with, things such as your observation drawings, then you can take it into pencil colors, you can take it into charcoal work, you can take it into etching, sketching, you can do stippling. There are different ways you can master that. That would not be a problem. You can go into mixed media. You can mix colors of different kinds. You can use natural colors. It's all up to your creativity. There is no cap. There is no bar to your creativity. If you feel that you would want to capture one particular house that you really like at different times of the day, that is something that universities have been really excited about, and it's quite trending, to be very honest. But the more you use techniques and different kinds of technical abilities, you use different kinds of softwares, even that shows your technical mastery, and that is something we all must look at. And thank you so much for joining today. We will continue with another session tomorrow at 6 p.m. And I hope you're excited enough to join the same as well.